Hi everybody, good morning. Welcome to Reality Buzz TV. So today we are going to talk about the rest of uh, episode 7 of Ingane's Temple, you guys, because we talked about that first scene when Vuyo and Mpumelelo were discussing their issues, and Vuyo wanted answers as to what is going to happen moving forward. But then I didn't talk about the rest of the episode. Now, you guys, I want to talk about before we get into below scene with her friends, because really honestly there wasn't much into that. I want to talk about the scene between Mpumelelo and Musa Mseleku and the conversation that took place between the two of them. If you can just turn Musa Mseleku's questions into statements, you can actually understand their conversation better. Because a lot of the times when Musa is asking Mpumelelo questions, he is leading him to say certain things. So in a way, his questions are statements. Mpumelelo was updating Mseleku about how their conversation went with Vuyo. Here's the thing, you guys. These kids are young. Mpumelelo is young, Vuyo is young. Yes, they have kids, but they are very, very young. So are you telling me that every time you see your girlfriend, you are going to be reporting to your father about the conversation that you had all the time? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. That every conversation that he's having, when he's had a conversation with Vuyo, he has to come back to his father and have a board meeting with his father and update him. When they are very young, they could have just been relaxed about their relationship. That in itself is weird, you guys. But it also shows you how much Musa Mseleku influences what goes on with these relationships with Mpumelelo. Now, when I say, if you turn questions that Musa Mseleku asks Mpumelelo to statements, you will understand the conversation better. For an example, he asked, do you think that Vuyo can be a good matriarch for the family? I think what he is saying, Musa Mseleku, is that Vuyo will not be able to be a good mamkulu for the family. I think he's making a statement, but he is wanting the viewers to feel like Mpumelelo is making that decision, and Mpumelelo is the one that thinks that Vuyo wouldn't be able to make it, because if he wouldn't be able to be Mamkulo, wouldn't be able to be the matriarch in the family. And because as much as I've been feeling like Mpumelelo doesn't love Vuyo, he did look a little bit broken when Vuyo was walking away from that conversation. I think he thought that that gift was going to buy him Vuyo's, I don't know, kindness. You know, I thought maybe he thought that it was going to soften Vuyo, but it didn't. And this is why I say that Mseleku is doing a disservice to his sons, because for some reason, Mpumelelo doesn't understand what for a woman, just because you've given them a gift, doesn't mean that now they're going to forget everything about everything else that they feel. If they are not respected and they are not considered, it doesn't matter what gifts you give them. At some point, they would walk away from the bullshit, okay? If you keep giving them the bullshit that comes with the gifts. So I do feel like there's something that he hasn't taught his sons as far as that is concerned in how you treat women. It's like, I think that even that gift probably was his suggestion, was just buy her a gift. Maybe she will soften up. I do feel like there is even more influence from Musa Mseleku on what Mpumelelo is doing now when it comes to Vuyo, how he's handling the situation with Vuyo. Obviously, he was saying that he doesn't think that Vuyo would be able to be Umamkulu, so the meeting didn't go well. As far as he is concerned, the relationship is over, because that's what Vuyo said, okay? And Musa says that, you know what, I'm still hopeful that Vuyo will come back. And Mpumelelo was like, if Vuyo comes back, it will be for my father. And I've seen people say that he means that I guess he doesn't love Vuyo anymore. And Vuyo would be umakoti Mseleku. But my understanding of him saying that is that he really does understand that Vuyo is done. And he feels like if she came back, it would be because she was convinced by Musa Mseleku to come back. But with them both, I felt like he felt it when we was like, this is over then, if that's what you're going to do with this whole thing, Yak on his table. So I guess he has given up. He feels like the relationship is over. But with his dad saying that he's still hoping Vuyo comes back, I feel like he was saying then that means that his dad will be the one that will have to convince Vuyo to come back because he has failed Yena. But also, even in that statement with Mseleku saying he hopes Vuyo comes back, that's not really what I don't believe it. I feel like because Mseleku has always made a statement, so if his son got someone pregnant, they have to marry that person. He has to follow up on that statement. Because then we are going to question, if he sits down with Mpumelelo and saying, Mpumelelo, this is over, this relationship is over, this relationship is not working out, this girl is not going to work out for what you are trying to do here, move on to other people, then some of us are going to start to ask questions like, but you said that when your son gets somebody pregnant, they have to marry them. So in him saying, I still hope Vuyo comes back, it's just that he has to say that statement so that we can still believe that he believes that when his sons make somebody pregnant, they have to marry that person. Okay. Mpumelelo did mention that they had broken up before with Vuyo, so it's something that has happened a lot, but for some reason he believes that it's final this time. I felt like he believes that it's final this time, even though I'm not. Vuyo doesn't convince me. I feel like Vuyo is still hoping that maybe something will change and she will come back. But I feel like Mpumelelo believes that it's over because maybe he knows that they're not going to change their minds as far as what's going to happen with his temple. Okay. Now, you guys, they talk about this whole thing where Mseleku has to pretend that he doesn't know that there is a non-Mpumelelo issue that was going on. That thing bored me. That thing just bored me to hell. I don't want to lie. The thing of Mpumelelo going to non-Mpumelelo's home to Hlaula because what's virginity, like that thing bored me. That conversation just bored me. While Mseleku is pretending that he doesn't know what the letter arrived, like, oh, I'm like you don't know what the letter figile. And I don't even think there was any letter, guys. Like, I really don't think there was any letter. I don't know why they're trying to do with Mpumelelo. I really am trying to figure it out. And because this girl, guys, has gone and moved on with her life. She has gone and had a baby with someone else. So I'm not understanding what they're trying to do here. They've said previously that Mpumelelo hasn't paid damages for Umhlopekazi for the second baby. What's the second baby's name? The second baby, Vuyokazi, for Singabako. He hasn't done the right thing with them. But he's going to go to a girl that has already moved on with her life and dating someone else to pay in Tlawule. Guys, I didn't even listen when he was saying what is gonna go in all of that. Ngathi uhambisa ibizo. Ngathi uyombeza. Hayi, uthi ufuna ukuba indoda yeqiniso. I'm like, how are you in the yeqiniso when Vuyo is sitting there when they were having a conversation? Because Vuyo said that, remember, when Mpumelelo moved to Joburg, it was her and non-Mpumelelo. And he had made certain promises to both of them. And those promises he has broken because had he not broken those promises, non-Mpumelelo would still be in a relationship with her. And now Vuyo is walking out. So him saying he wants to go ayohlawula kuboka non-Mpumelelo so that he can be in the yeqiniso, then it doesn't make sense. So if we don't diagnose, how come when you made Vuyo pregnant, you didn't immediately go uyohlawula? Why were you need to diagnose there? It just doesn't make sense. The life that they are trying to present to us that they are living doesn't make sense. Okay, they want us to believe there are these people that follow tradition and whatever, but they're just not. They're just winging it. Aibo, I've never seen such. I mean, Utumuntu has 3 kids that he hasn't paid in Tlaulo for, but a village I some virgin that is not even with him anymore and pay for that. It doesn't make sense, shame. It doesn't make sense. So the whole conversation, it bored me. Over and above the fact that I'm bored by the fact that every episode we are seeing Musa Mseleku on Ingane's temple, when really for us, when we watch that show, we would have liked to just see, Ingane's temple, not the parents. Now, you guys, another thing that takes place is Mpilo, there's a scene where she's inviting everybody because she's organizing this trip to Sun City. Listen, you guys, I feel like maybe I need to look at the differences in the credits with the first season and the second season. There's definitely a difference in the way that this season is being done. So I don't know if there are changes in terms of like production, but you can feel Mpumelo's productivity. I don't know how to say it. Production, whatever, behind it. I think because Mpumelelo works in with production, then you can see that Mpumelelo does more. And sometimes we are seeing things that, really, I'm like, some things should be in the background. I don't know, you guys. There's something that they're not doing so well with this season. So she was calling everybody to say that they are going to Sun City. But there's a part of it where she says that, okay, all of the siblings will be there, and then even umndeni wami will be there. So I was like, oh, so is the family going to Sun City and then with them, but they're only going to shoot the cast of Ingane's Temple. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes they say things that you like, we're not supposed to really know that, but okay, I guess, So I don't know, maybe they're not editing it well, but there's just something that is off there. Now, Below does go out with her friends, 3 of her friends. They go bowling, and then they start talking about the snare situation. I don't know. I'm like, guys, that thing happened so long ago. That why are they talking about it now? That and specifically what Usne said to Mpilo, because if anything, you guys, if the whole purpose of the show this season is to show us how siblings have that sibling rivalry thing, if they want to show us that, I think the best way to do it would be when those things come up, then they make sure that they put them in a space where they can talk it out between the siblings. I'm not understanding why they had a sleepover. Those issues were raised. Now and then a person is having a conversation with their friends, they're talking about it, the conversation with their friends, they're talking about it. I'm not understanding it. So they ended up talking about this net thing with her friends, that Usne says we are Stella and all of that. I didn't like that scene. I just didn't understand it. Why would she do that? Like, you haven't seen your friends in a while, but you haven't told them this. If you were going to tell them, I'm like, I don't know, guys. It just didn't make sense. Maybe they didn't know what to shoot. And it was so random. They were talking about other things, and then here is this next situation. So one of the girls that who is Bilow's friends ended up asking Bilow, are you dating girls? Because you don't talk about boys. Pilogega is always bored when it comes to Mjolo, and quite honestly, you guys, knowing how Mjolo goes, I don't even think that she should stop being bored. But she's like, hey, I can get bora yonjing abafan and the bora foot bora even more masu Jolo. I don't believe that Upilo aga Joli, but I guess maybe she just hasn't had anything serious to a point where maybe she wants to share it with the public, maybe, but I don't believe that, she's never had a boyfriend or she's never had a thing, I believe that she has, but she just doesn't maybe get to a point where she feels like she needs to now share. Okay, now you guys, listen, I guess next week we are going to be seeing everybody in Sun City. I just don't get it, you guys. I don't like, I'm bored by the Sun City thing. Like, it's almost like with these reality shows in South Africa, we don't have other places that have, like, if on a show you went to Sun City the first season, why do you need to go to Sun City again this season? In South Africa, we have, so they don't even have to go out of the country. They don't have to go out of the country. There's so many places they can go to. Why does it have to be Sun City all the time? So what's different that they're going to do in Sun City this time, that we are going to see and be entertained by? I'm not understanding why they have to go to Sun City. I don't understand that. So, and it's going to be interesting because even though Vuyo has broken up in Mpumelelo, but she's going to be there as well. It looks like, Tirelo will be coming with a baby. So that will be interesting as well. So it will be interesting to see it because, of course, Vuyo now is saying she broke up with Mpumelelo. It's time, I guess, for us to see if she really did break up with Mpumelelo. And because then they don't have to fight about anything with Vuyo. They don't have to argue about it. Because now Mpumelelo is only Vuyo's boyfriend, is not Tirelo's boyfriend. So that's going to be interesting to see. Now, you guys, when it comes to, I actually looked at this show different this episode, because I realized that Inganes Gamacele are part of the show, but they don't participate like Mpilo does. And I think you can actually look at it like this show is from is produced from Indlu Makhumalo. It's Musa Mseleku, Makhumalo and Mpilo who are organizing everything. And then they added on Mpumelelo, because I guess Mpumelelo has a more, I don't know, busy storyline. But I'm not seeing him giving me any indication that he does anything behind the scenes. I'm not feeling like that. But it feels like that. And then the kids from Macele's household are not doing much. And it could, because I saw someone say it might have been Macele's idea to not have them share their private life, like who Luandle is dating and all of that. And I can see Macele do that. I can see Macele maybe saying, yeah, you guys can do the show, but I don't want to see you with no girlfriend on the show, because you don't want to give people this thing now that you've made a decision about this one girl and then you change your mind later. I can see that. Maybe, that's the reason we haven't seen any of Luandle's girlfriends, even though they are said to be out there, but we don't see them on the show. Maybe Michael was like, no, not with my kids. They can just have fun, but I don't want them to be serious. They're showing their relationships, maybe. Because even with Abo, we haven't seen much of her. Anyway, you guys, there was an episode for today. I think the thing that bored me the most was the presence of Mseleku yet again in another episode, but also that whole conversation of Mpumelelo going to pay Inhlawulo or Kobokano Mpumelelo when he hasn't paid Inhlawulo, ka Vuyo, ka Tirelo. That thing just bored me. And I'll be even more bored next week, because they are actually going to do it. They're going to actually do it. Okay? Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegona. Share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers in the Tanda. Cool.